Hello, my name is Brian Lewis, and this is my presentation from the People's Plastic Revolution. People's Plastic Revolution, environmental solution, practical processing, and recycling for a better world. At the People's Plastic Revolution, we've established a campaign for an environment free of plastic waste, and to build recycling centers that take the plastic waste and return it to original components of oil and carbon. Initial research shows that there's significant profit can be made, even break-even timeframes of less than 18 months. PPR has demonstrated a solution that will show a significant profit and be environmentally friendly. As you know, the world has many problems. A few of those problems are plastic, climate change, oil shortage, human toxicity, and how this all affects industry. The climate is changing because of plastic, and the plastic is basically piling up because we don't have a proper way to recycle it, and what we do is we end up incinerating it, putting it in a landfill, or shipping it out of sight, out of mind. Most recycling is wishful recycling, where people just throw it in a recycling bin and they wish that it gets recycled. The truth of that is only about 20% of all plastic can actually be recycled and reused over and over. The other 80% is either burned or thrown in a landfill. Up until about 2017, most of the plastic being recycled was shipped to China or other third world countries, but they have completed bans on that, and now everybody is dealing with a lot of plastic, and they don't really know what to do with it. However, plastic is made from oil, and you can turn plastic back into oil and different seed products for the chemical and other plastic and the energy industry. As we know, there's going to be an oil shortage in the next 40 to 50 years. As the experts say, it might be longer, it might be shorter, but we're running out of oil. There's only so much of it, and most oil that we have, we've turned it into plastic. But most of the plastic is still oil, so we can take that plastic and turn it back into oil. The other problems that we have is that plastic is now immune into the environment. There's basically a nano layer of plastic found all over the world. What this nano layer basically is a saran wrap or a plastic film that has covered the whole world. The problem with all this is that all these industrial impacts impact humans, and they impact how people live, and they impact the money and the economies and the finances that everybody gets. The solutions for this is that they are clean recycling solutions. About 20% of plastic can be recycled, but only can be recycled 2 or 3 times before it breaks down molecularly. Advanced recycling solutions work. Pyrolysis, gasification, hydrogen, chemical recycling. They are new to the industry, but they are not new technologies. The thing with this is that there is a huge hidden oil reserve in all plastic. Since plastic is made from oil, we can essentially turn it back into oil or other seed products. There's about 7 billion tons of plastic waste, which means there's about 5.5 billion tons of free energy. Our solution is creating micro-recycling plants, local and community-based solutions that are easy to build and provide local solutions at home. Mechanical recycling, the traditional recycling, washing plastics, focusing on PET, HPDE, and other metals, which then can be turned back into a sellable product and be reused a few more times before they have to be processed through advanced recycling. Advanced recycling, the focus is pyrolysis and gasification, turning 80% of the waste plastic into oil, energy, and other fuels and energy sources. Our investment offer, we are actively seeking seed and Series A funding for about 15 million US dollars. The business model for opportunity for success is focusing on local centers. Each center will be fed by local companies and the community, and then the products will be then given back to the community. We have an amazing experts and management team. We're always going to strive to creating the best environment for our people and giving them all the proper tools to do the best things, and focusing on the success of the company and the teams that we build. The technology and the solutions that we have are proven and tested. We've contracted and contacted many different companies, and out of the interviews of all those companies, we have found the best companies that are successfully doing this product and successfully making profit in doing this process. The market opportunity currently in the world is about $100 billion for the recycled industry. Currently, every country and every company is focusing on a net zero or some type of reduce your carbon footprint reduce your plastic intakes, reduce your waste, save the planet, and it's very good. There's basically 7 billion tons of plastic waste in the environment, in the ocean, and the landfills right now. Out of that, 80% of that waste can be turned into oil, seed products, and energy without using traditional methods of incineration. Our investment opportunity is about $200 million worth of value and profit. Each site will grossly make about $5 million a year, and the goal is to run 20 to 30 sites over the next 5-6 years. Throughout our series funding, our end goal is to produce about 100 micro hybrid centers in 10 different countries with the goal of making $200 million and removing about 200 million tons of plastic from the environment. Competition is kind of the sad part here, is because the plastic waste problem is so big that even if there was 1,000 competitors in every location, we'd still not be able to solve the problem for the next 10 to 15 years. The only real competition that we have here is companies and countries that incinerate the plastic, or people who ship it to third world countries, and then they go through it, figure out what they can make money off of it, and most of that ends up in the landfill or into the ocean, or they burn it without proper environmental controls. Basically, they just light it on fire in a field. In mechanical recycling, there are existing players, and they are fighting for the same 20% of sellable products. Our goal is to work with them in the circular economy and provide them another means to have a product for them to sell. There's not very many people in the advanced recycling. However, in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to see an increase in that. Our company, our goal is to process 100,000 tons of recycling through mechanical recycling, and then process 1 million tons every 3 years in advanced recycling. We focus on mechanical recycling to give us feedstock for the advanced recycling. Each center can process around 13,000 tons of recycled, advanced recycling plastic each year. With 100 sites, we could do about 13 million tons each year. Even though it's a small drop, it's still a significant increase from what they're currently doing. Our growth strategy and our exits plan is a Series A, B, and C over the next 5 years. Series A is to raise $15 million in funding to build the first micro center in Japan, commission the site, start processing plastic and pyrolysis oil. The testing and the research will be used for other future sites, and we'll basically clone this exact site over and over and over for the next 5 years, increasing the production and the technology, but basically it will be a cookie cutter model. The idea is to process 20,000 tons of waste plastic each year. In 2022, we'll open up Series B, where we'll try to raise $50 million in funds and build out 6 more micro plants, looking at 3 in Japan, 1 in the UK, and the other ones in Mexico or Thailand, which will give us a global foothold to launch these further out into the future. The idea here is to process 200,000 tons of waste plastic each year. Series 3, which will be in 2024, we're looking to raise $75 million in fund, build out another 8 of these micro centers in the UK, Mexico, Japan, Thailand, and other countries, position the company for IPO and a mass franchise or corporate build out for these micro centers globally. The idea there is by the end of 2024, we should be able to process 1 million tons of waste plastic each year. For this series of investment, Series A, we're looking to raise around $10 million to build the first center. The breakdown of this investment will be 2 20-ton pyrolysis reactors. These are the advanced recycling reactors. The equipment for the facility and the facility. Wheeled equipment such as forklifts, loaders, trucks. Water treatment, since we are running a mechanical recycling site, we have to wash the plastic. We need to treat the water that we wash that with and reuse that so we don't have any environmental impacts. Tanks, pumps, electrical stuff for post products, and also storing the oil and moving the oil. Mechanical sorting and washing, this is the traditional recycling plants. The engineering and the design of the next one is going to be the largest investment. However, once we have it engineered and designed, we can then clone the same product over and over and have the engineering and the manufacturing of the reactors tailored to our products and our solutions, which will then lower the cost in future, and also 6 months operating costs. For the shareholders and how we have it laid out, The founders and the owners own 30% of the company. The amount of shares is currently 70% of series and 15 million shares for sale. The value of each share is £1 or $1.25 US. We have three classifications of shares. Class A, voting with 40% dividends. Class B, non-voting with 40% dividends. And Class C, which are stocks, non-numbered, and are valued based upon the existing share price. We want to set this up where everybody is making money and it is a profitable investment for everybody. And we are planning on paying yearly dividends or bi-yearly dividends on all the profits that we make for the investment of the equity that you put into our company. Here's a quick overview of the forecast for success based upon the series growth of the micro centers. For Series A, the mechanical recycling will make about $400,000 a year. Advanced recycling will make $5.3 million. Gross revenue is around 5.7 and company revenue is around 2.2. As we bring in Series B, Series C, and increase the centers, as you can see, the values increase. We're not really changing the model of the recycling centers. We're just adding more centers to that. And by doing that, we'll gain more of a market share and we could increase profits by offering a better product and having more of a market competition for those products. But at the end of it, we are looking to have around $35 million annual revenue by 2025. The timeline for our two-year action plan is to start the building and the designing by February 2021, commission the plant by June of that year, and then have full operation by October of 2021. Then start Series B in 2022 and basically follow the same process by having 4 full running sites by the end of 2022. This is the financial overviews for one center. As you can see, the income will be about $5 million a year from oil and advanced recycling products. The other byproducts will be the mechanical recycling, will be about $400,000 a year with a total net income of around $5.7 million a year. Each one of these facilities by the end of year 5 will be net profiting around $3 million a year. And out of each facility, we should be able to pay out $1 million in dividends. We have put together an amazing team. We have Steve Wakefield, who's a very senior operation manager. Myself, I've done quite a few startups in leadership. Our CFO, William, he's a CPA in charge of accounting and financing. Peter McGruin, philanthropist and environmental experts. We've also brought on 2 PhDs, one who's a professor in environmental studies of plastic, and another PhD who is in plastics and chemicals and oils. Other team members are Suhas, he's our owner engineer. He currently is running 30 plus pyrolysis and hybrid recycling companies throughout the world. We're hiring his company to be our engineers to design ours. Tony, he's ran 3 pyrolysis machines and factories and companies throughout the world. He's going to be our on-site engineer. Divya, she's our marketing and PR person. And Bianca, she is our legal counsel. An overview of the funding. Series A, $15 million to build out the first center and the engineering to process 20 tons of plastic a year. Series B, $50 million to build out 6 more centers and process 150,000 tons of plastic per year. Series C, $75 million to build out 15 centers and process 1 million tons of plastic each year. Once we reach Series C, we will be set up to go IPO, and the goal is to go IPO for $100 million and then take the business and go from there to build out more hybrid recycling centers and remove hundreds of millions of tons of plastic a year. Thank you for watching this. And the summary of this is that we are here to create an environment free of plastic waste, is to build recycling centers that remove the carbon footprint and remove the plastic from going to the incinerations and the oceans and being shipped out. Plastic has a value and it's about 80% oil, and our goal is to make plastic waste have a value, which will in turn help the circular economy. We've shown that if we can do this successfully, we can copy this model across the globe and increase the initial investment value and the return profits for people that invest with us at this early stage. We're looking at Asia first because there's a massive plastic waste issue here. However, the reason we're starting off in Japan is that once we have a first world working facility, we can then clone those environmental regulations and those engineering processes throughout the globe and help save the planet from endless plastic waste and still keep plastic as a useful tool for humanity. Thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Have a wonderful day.